Hello Avians! Woohoo! Welcome back to the main channel. Now today we're here talking about the Master. Now I think the reason why I want to talk about the Master is Sacha Dhawan. Now I found this on my desk, even though it's not where it should be with my collection. Sacha Dhawan is Jodie Whittaker's iteration of the Master. Now Peter Capaldi had Missy, but sadly Matt Smith had no one. Now if they did a Big Finish range with Matt Smith as the 11th, they could add a Master in there for him, so that there's been a Master for him, because David hadn't got one. Christopher Eccleston never got a Master either, so Big Finish can definitely do that, but John Sim came directly into the New Who era to revamp the Master, so sort of keep it a little bit. So, Masterful. Masterful is an audio of all the Masters to celebrate 50 years of the Masters, whether it's Big Finish Masters or TV Masters. Sacha Dhawan wasn't involved in that. Don't know why. I think that came out before Sacha Dhawan was revealed as the Master. So I think, because it stops at Michelle Gomez. I think I'm saying the name right. I think I'm saying the actor's name right. But the Master had his own their own TARDIS for a while. Missy's Master didn't have a TARDIS. Sacha Dhawan's Master had a TARDIS. Now, the Master has disappeared from Doctor Who in the new series. Or has he? Now, my theory this entire time has been that the Master is the Swarm. The Swarm creatures is the Master, but there was a behind the scenes with it saying otherwise, but it was about to click his fingers at the cliffhanger from episode 2. So hopefully we find out that the Master or an alternate timeline Master. Now, if you don't know about what happens to a Time Lord, is every so often when their regeneration cycle ends, their body disintegrates. That's why Roger Delgado, I think it's the Master following Roger Delgado, I think, I could be wrong in that, had to jump ship to a new body. I did make a whole Master Timeline video, you can go with that. Ace Creeper, now George Shade, the YouTube channel, he's always been George Shade. He made a video on the Master, so I'm not going to go in too much detail, but I'll go in enough detail to make it seem worthy of me talking about, because I want to make this video longer than 2 minutes. Longer than 2 minutes. Longer than 2 minutes. Longer than 2 minutes. I want to make it longer than 2 minutes. 2 minutes. 2 minutes. So I think, in my theory, that the Masters come to the end of the Masters cycle and then become the Swarm. But then that means who is the female Swarm? Now, she must be Missy, or an alternate Master, or the Masters have a sister and no one's known about it. I don't know the exact answer there. There's so many questions, so many answers, so many things that can't be answered yet, because the series isn't over yet. Now, I would love to see the Master in fan projects. There has been a few fan Masters in Echo's End, the recent fan film by Confused Adipose, brilliant YouTuber by the way. And I sort of want to see the Master come back in more of a sense, but in the TV show, not in a fan sense, the Master might as well be the Swarm, or as Radio Times website suggests, and Nerd Den has also made a video on it, it could be either the Doctor's parents, probably not because the Doctor's parents won't be evil, or another set of Time Lords. Now, they were, in the very end of episode 2, at Time, which is a planet apparently. And these two seem to be very confident, but they've got shards coming out of their head, and I think the shards coming out of their head is shards from the TARDIS. So when the Master was flying his TARDIS, Sacha Dhawan's master is one of them out, he could have hit into it, and it could have like hit him as his body started to disintegrate, so he could have shards of TARDIS energy rammed in his head. Or they might just be crystals, or they might just be the fantastic makeup department's tooling. So I don't know whether it is CGI, that's another thing. I sort of hope it's real, so I can appraise the artist and makeup department who designed and actually did this. But it might be CGI. Hopefully it's not, because it looks so good and it can't be CGI. Might be uncomfortable to wear, like Crichton from Red Dwarf. That head looks really uncomfortable to wear. So, is the Master currently in Series 13? Who knows? The beginning of Series 12 with Spyfall, you found out that O was Sacha Dhawan's Master. And so that must mean that the Master could be hiding in plain sight. The Master could have been there the entire time. Who knows? Who really knows? I don't. But my opinion is the Swarm might be the Master. And we might have the Master might have had a sister. But I think we need a Big Finish spin-off, because in a TV sense, I don't want any more TV spin-offs for a little bit until Russell T Davies comes back and decides how he's going to sort out the spin-offs and add spin-offs and do spin-offs. But I feel like Big Finish would make it, and it'd be a lot cheaper to make, doing a spin-off where it's Master as a child and the Doctor as a child. I've got a few plans for a few major videos talking about the failed US spin-off Young Doctor. I've got a few things to talk about. I want to call it a documentary coming out, where I'll be talking about the TV movie and the background with how Doctor Who had so many spin-off ideas that failed and why they failed and all this with the American market. I know Clever Dick Films made a sortish video on it, but made a video mainly on the TV movie itself. But I'll be talking about the TV movie, behind the scenes, and including the failed spin-offs and why it didn't work in certain places in America, why it worked other places as well. So expect that to come either in the new year, 2022, or at some point. Probably wait until 2022. So, is the Master currently in Series 13? I don't know. I hope so. Thank you guys for watching. Hopefully this video was longer than 2 minutes. Fingers crossed. Well, adding the intro might make it longer than 2 minutes. But fingers crossed. Thank you guys for watching. Time on time out. Bye! Without the intro, it could be 5 hours. Oh no. 5 hours?